Hello, my name's Ellie and I'm a hula hooper, and today I'm going to be teaching for Youth Arts Active, and we're going to get moving in the great outdoors. So find yourself a hula hoop and take it out for a walk. Find yourself somewhere where you've got lots of space where you can move around. I'm going to be stopping a few places along my walk, and I'm going to show you some tricks and things that you can do to get started and have fun with your hula hoop. Stopped here and we're going to get moving. So I'm going to show you now how to hula hoop the hula hoop around your body. If you can't hula hoop yet, then have a listen and hopefully I'll be able to give you some tips to get you started. And if you can already hula hoop, then don't skip past it. There might be something that will help you with your hula hooping and start to help you to be able to move the hoop around your body. Find yourself some space. I'm going to show you the parts of your body where you can move the hula hoop on. So just leave your hoop on the floor for a second, and I want you to put your hands on your knees, and we're going to give our knees a wiggle. And then we're going to give our hips a wiggle. We're going to put our hands on our tummy and give our tummy a wiggle. Give your chest a wiggle like you're a belly dancer. And then we're going to take our hands right up and we're going to give our hands a wiggle. Okay, and now we're going to take our hula hoops. So I've got 5 tips which are going to help to get you started with your hula hooping. And the first tip is to move it, but you need to move it in the right place. So when you're hula hooping, you can hoop on your tummy, but you can also, if you haven't got too much grass around you, you can bring the hoop down to your knees. You can pick it up back to your waist, onto your chest. You can bring your arms in and hoop on your shoulders. You can take it to your neck and you can take it to your hands. So there's a whole load of places that you can hoop on your body. For now, we're going to work on our waist, but it is important to know that when you move the hoop, you need to move the right part of your body. So if I move the hoop around your body, you move the part of your body where you want the hoop to go. So if I'm hooping on my knees, for example, and I want the hoop to move up to my waist, I'm going to start to move my waist. If I want it to move up to my chest, that's where I move. And if I want it on my shoulders, I need to move my shoulders. If you move the wrong part of your body, the hoop is going to get a little bit confused and it's going to fall to the floor. So if I want the hoop to stay on my waist, but I'm leaned over and I'm moving every part of my body, then the hoop's going to fall to the floor. So it's important to think about your body position when you're hooping, and you want to be quite straight when you hoop the hula hoop. So think about standing up tall. Don't lean down and look at the hula hoop, and try not to move too many other parts of your body if you want the hula hoop to hoop on your waist. You want to keep the rest of your body nice and tall and try and keep the movement in your waist, which is easier said than done. And that is going to bring me to the second point, which is to push it. So when we're hooping, we're always working against gravity, and we really need to work the hula hoop to keep the hula hoop up. So when I talk about pushing it, the first thing I want to talk about is the actual push to get the hoop started. So this push is really important, and if you can get a good push, then you can get a good 7 rotations around your body without having to do anything with your body. So to start off with, all I want you to do is to hold the hoop on the lowest part of your back, and we're going to hold it as though there is a tray on it, and imagine that the tray is filled with a lot of hot cups of water, so you don't want it to spill on you or on the floor really. So we're holding the hoop really flat, keep it level to the floor, and you're going to give it a push from one side and then push it across to your opposite hip. And really push it. See if you can hear the sound of the hoop pushing around you. Just try that a few times. You can let it drop down to the floor, or you can catch it from the outside to save yourself picking it up from the floor. Okay, and then once we get a good push with our hand to get the hoop started, we need to get a good push with our body as well. So people hula hoop in different ways. some people hoop forwards and backwards, some from side to side, and some push round in a circle. But you're always pushing into the hula hoop with your body. So try a few different ways. I think it's always nice to try and put one foot in front of the other, and then you can really push into that front leg. You can bend your knee and push forwards into it. Try and push all the way around. And try and push from side to side. Most people have a preference of which way they hula hoop, but if you're just starting, try and push it both ways to see if one way feels better. Okay, that brings me to point number 3, which is to dip into it. So to start off with, you might feel like your hoop's always going down, and a good trick to keep it on your waist is to dip your body down into the hoop when it starts to go down and stand back up to lift it up. So if you let it go down over your hips, dip into it and stand back up. If you feel like the hoop's going down, dip into it and stand back up. You can also use this to start to learn how to let the hoop go down to your to your knees, or even how to get it from your knees back up to your hips. So you let it go down over your hips, dip into it and stand back up. And then the 4th tip is the spin. So you might find that the hoop starts to go a bit wobbly, or one part of the hoop might go on a little slant towards the floor. So then what we're going to do is do a spin. We're going to do a full spin. And sometimes that helps to straighten the hula hoop back up. So if you find the front of the hoops going forward, it's normally because you're looking down at the hoop. But just spin and see if that straightens it back up. And then that brings me to the last tip, which is to groove it. And when you get the hoop going, enjoy it. See if you can move with it. See if you can twist around with it. Find space with your hands. You can see if you can dip your hands into it, or if you can move down low with it. Find your own way of hooping. I think the best thing about hula hooping is that no two people look the same when they hula hoop. So find your own groove with the hula hoop. Okay, thank you. I'm going to carry on walking, and then I'm going to teach you a new trick. The first one that we're going to learn is a pickup from the floor. So you're going to put the hoop down on the floor, and you're going to put the back of the hoop. So if the hoop's sitting on the floor like this, you're going to put this part of the hoop over your foot. You can't see my foot, so I'm just going to pick it up. So I've got my foot flexed, my toes are pointing up to the sky, and the hoop is just balancing in the crook of my foot, just in front of my toes. From here, I'm going to take a step back with my other foot, and I'm going to kick the hoop up, and it's going to land over my body. Like this. I'll show you again. So the hoop's here, my hands are out, and I'm going to kick it up, and it's going to land over my body in this star shape. So to start off with, all I want you to try and do is kick the hoop up, and I want you to try and get your hands underneath the hoop so it lands over the top of you, like this. So you're kicking the hoop up. You don't need to kick it that high. It needs to get over your head, and then you're going to dive through the hoop. One more time. Pick it up, dive through the hoop. Okay. Once you've done that a few times and you're feeling confident with it, you're going to put your hands out to the side. You want the hoop, the part of the hoop that's on your foot, to land over your head, and you're going to keep your leg on the front side of the hula hoop, and it's going to close the hoop in between your legs. So I'll show you one more time. My toes are up, my hands are out, and I'm going to pick the hoop up so it lands behind my neck. And then I'm going to close my legs. Okay, so that's trick number 1. Trick number 2 I'm going to show you is a pass that goes behind your back, like this. So what's happening here is I'm holding the hoop on the side with my thumb on top of the hoop. So my hand's holding the hoop from the back, my thumb's on the top, and I'm going to just lift the hoop up, keeping it nice and flat. And when the hoop gets above my head, I'm going to bend my elbow and drop it down to the other side. Then I'm going to catch it with my thumb facing down and my fingers facing back. Show you that a bit closer. So my thumb's facing down and my fingers are closing at the back. Then I let go with the first hand, and then the other hand does the same thing. So it lifts up above your head, and then you're going to bend your elbow so it drops behind your back, and then close your hands on the other side, let go with the first hand, and repeat. So you can do this quick, you can have a little dance with it. I'll show you from the back so you can see what's going on behind me. The hoop's to the side, and I'm going to lift the hoop up, bend my elbow, and catch the hoop on the other side. Okay, cool. And then my third hoop trick is the lasso. So you're going to start with your, well, there's a few ways we can start, but I'll start this way to start off with. Your fingers are going to reach into the hoop with your hands facing down, and then they're going to close over the hoop. Your little finger is facing forward, and you're going to rest the hoop to the outside. And then what we're going to do is do one turn with the hoop, and we're going to bring it up above our head, and then we're going to release it when our hand gets above our head, and we're going to just try and let the hoop spin around our hand. So we're doing a lasso with the hula hoop as though it was a rope. I'll show you again. The hoop's down on the floor, my hand goes in from the back and grabs the hoop, my little finger's at the front, and I'm going to swing the hoop around and then bring it up above my head. As soon as I get the hoop above my head, I want my arm to be nice and close to my ear so that the hoop's straight up above me and not out to the side. So you want to be able to look up and see through the hoop with your eyes. Okay, and then another way to get into the lasso is to start the hoop above your head, and you're going to choose which your dominant hand is. I'm right-handed, so I push it with my right hand. I'm going to let go with my left hand, and I'm going to grab the hoop and push it forwards with my right hoop hand, which will take it into this rotation above my head. Show you again. So both of my hands are on the inside, my fingers are facing up. I'm going to let go with the left hand and grab it and push it forward with the right hand. And then straight away I'm keeping my arm really close to my ear, and the hoop is right above my head. A nice thing that you can do once you get the hoop going above your head is that you can have it above your head, and then you can bring it down and take it around your body. And you can take it back up. Down. See if you can pass it to the other hand. Okay, so I've just stopped here, and I'm going to teach you how to do body wraps with the hula hoop. So body wrap is when the hula hoop passes around your body, but it's the movement of your body that makes the hoop travel around you. So to do this, you want to keep the hula hoop really close to your body. So to start off with, all I want you to do is hold the hoop in front of you and swing it onto your shoulder, but keep the connection with your legs, and see if by moving your head forward you can get the hoop to go to your other shoulder. So we're going to put the hoop onto our shoulder, keep the connection with the bottom of the hoop on your leg, and just move your head forward to see if you can get the hoop to pass to the other side of your shoulder. So we're going to do that a couple of times. Try and make the movement come from your body rather than from the throw of the hoop. So you're just moving your head around in a circle to get the hoop to come back to the front. I'm going to do that one more time, and then we're going to try it in the other direction. Which is harder? Nice, okay. Just before we move on, what I'd like you to try to do is to just move the hula hoop around using your arms. So you're going to take your arms into the hoop at the back, move the hoop around so it's sitting on your neck, and bring your arms in here. So you're trying not to use your hands too much, you're just using your elbows to push the hoop around. And you're trying to keep as much as the hoop touching your body as possible. Okay, so now we're going to move on to a fancy body wrap. So you're going to hold the hoop out to one side, take your hands out on the other side so you're making a T pose. You're going to wrap the hoop around and you're going to take it off on the other side. So we're starting on one hand, wrapping it round, and we're taking it off to the other side. Okay, I'll show you that from the back. Okay, once you can do that nicely, you can start to try to add a little flair. So we're going to take the hoop off and catch it with the same hand that we put the hoop on with. So it goes like this. I'll show you again. Maybe I'll show you this in slow motion. And I'll show you from the back. So you're putting your hoop on with one hand, catching it with the same hand. Your hands, so my left hand reaches right up and out of the way. So I'm wrapping the hoop round and I'm reaching right up with my left hand to make space for my right hand to wrap around and catch it behind my hip. One more time. Okay, I'm going to carry on. So we can also do a body wrap from the back. So we're taking the hoop off. We're going to twist the hoop so our thumb's facing down. We're going to wrap it behind our back here, and the hoop is going to hinge around our front. So we're going to hinge it round, and then we're going to catch it on our back. There's a lot going on. The hoop's here. We twist it so our thumb's facing down. We're going to pass the hoop behind us, and we're going to hinge the hoop around us. I'll show you the other way around. Hoop's here, and then twist it so my thumb's facing down. Hoop goes behind my back. I'm going to take my left hand up and out of the way, and it's going to hinge around and I'm going to catch it. Twist it so my thumb's facing down. Hoop goes behind my back. I'm going to take my left hand up and out of the way, and it's going to hinge around and I'm going to catch it. Okay, so I've just stopped here on the beach and I'd really like to teach you some folds with the hula hoop, but it's pretty windy and I think it also might be about to rain, so we'll see how it goes, but we can try. Oh, yes, it's better. There's a good rock, a good balancing rock. I tell you what, filming outdoors in the lockdown, it's not straightforward. So I was thinking it would be great if you guys, do take your hoop for a walk. If you could send us some of your videos, it would be lovely to see them. I'll put a little link of where you can send your videos to. Okay, I think this is better. It's better. Oh look, you can see the cliff and my hula hoop. Right, back to folds. So yeah, the hoop's in front of you. You're going to swing it from side to side. Your grip is like this. Your hands are like a crab. And you're going to drop your hands down, close it around the hula hoop like that. Then we're swinging the hoop from side to side, and we're going to swing the hoop up and let it drop over the top of your arm. So you get to the point where you just can't really turn the hoop anymore. So it goes all the way over one way, all the way over the other way. This is nice. You can do it while you watch the sea. You can do it picking blackberries with your other hand, talking on the phone. Okay, once you get the feeling with it with your dominant hands, try it with your other hand as well. You're going to let it wrap over and bring it back to the other side. Cool. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try and swap it from one hand, and we're going to take it over to the other hand, catch it, and we're going to fold it on the other side as well. Nice. Well, the next thing we're going to try and do is the same fold, but we're going to make a V shape in front of us. So we're going to start the fold at the top of the V, and we're going to bring it to the bottom. We're going to take it up to the other side. It's always nice when you're hooping to think about using different levels. So you're going to go down low, then go up high. And now what we're going to do is we're going to fold and spin. So we're folding the hoop, and we're spinning. Spin your other hand up. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do on folds is a little fold throw. So you fold the hoop up and over your hand, and then you're going to keep the hoop level to the floor, so it's nice and flat to the floor. You're going to swing it behind you, and then you're going to push it front and catch it with your hands. So you're swinging it over your arm, push it behind you, swing it forward, release and catch. Swing it over your arm, keep it flat, swing it forward and release. And this makes it much easier to turn with the fold. So swing it over, swing it behind you, twist and catch, swing it behind you, twist and catch. Good. So we've done the swing and the catch with the hoop going one way. You can also do it with the hoop on the other side. So you're going to swing it to the front of you and catch it behind you. So there's two throws. One, if you start with the hoop down and you swing it up and over to the outside, push it behind you, catch it in front of you, and then the other one, the hoop's at the front, swing it up and to the inside, push it in front of you, swing it behind and catch. I'm just going to do a close-up of the hands. So my hands facing down like a crab. I swing the hoop up and over my arm, pushing it behind me, swinging it forward and catching. And then the other one, the hoop's on the inside, and I push it in front of me, bring it behind me to catch. And that is the end of the tutorial on folds, which I really hope you've been able to hear. I really advise that you take your hula hoops to the beach. It's really fun. Yeah. And thanks for joining me on my walk.